The following is a presentation of Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Week 7 of the high school football season is upon us. It is homecoming at Ashwaubenon. Here at Gales Field, a battle for first place in the Fox River Classic Conference as the 6-0 Ashwaubenon Jaguars host the 6-0 Bayport Pirates in the high school football game of the week on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. And a very pleasant good evening alongside WFCA Hall of Fame coach Ken Golomsky. My name is Matt Menzel, and coach, Bayport averaging close to 41 points a game. No secret offensively. They pound the football. Their number 2 rusher, a running back last year, turned quarterback this year in Alec Ingold.
He can not only run the ball, but he's developed into a pretty good passer too. And so they have a complementary play-action package to go with their running game. But they still want to pound the ball. You're absolutely correct. They've got a great running back in Max Biebel, and their fullback Cuff is a tough one too. So they distribute the ball amongst those three, and all the touchdowns are coming out of those three guys too. On the other side of the ball, you have Ashwaubenon, completely different offensive philosophy. They're going to throw the heck out of the ball. They got the big quarterback, James Morgan, and he distributes to about 4 wide receivers that accumulate most of the catches and most of the scores.
When you talk about James Morgan, boy, has he matured here in his second year as the varsity starting quarterback.
Yeah, he's got a great delivery, very strong arm, very poised for a kid his age, collects himself, doesn't throw into crowds, he doesn't take a sack, he throws the ball away, so he's pretty polished for a young man his age.
All right, so battle atop the FRCC. It's Bayport, it's Ashwaubenon. It's week 7 of the high school football season, and we kick it off next on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. It's a battle of the undefeateds in the FRCC from Gales Field in Ashwaubenon. Week 7 of the high school football 2013 season. The Bayport Pirates, the Ashwaubenon Jaguars, both teams number 4 in their respective divisions. The Bayport Pirates, they're coming off a 49-13 victory against Green Bay West. The Jaguars coming off a 48-7 victory against Pulaski. These two have battled 6 previous times in FRCC play. They have split all 6 of those meetings. Ashwaubenon 2-1 on this very field against the Pirates. And coach, we will see Bayport defense first. They won the coin flip and deferred as we check out the keys to the game brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm, serving America's heartland since 1955.
Well, Bayport's going to have to do something about Ashwaubenon's passing game. They're going to have to cover the receivers, and that's going to be difficult because he's got 4 different outlets he can dump it to. 3 very good wideouts, a tight end that is emerging, and even Zills in the backfield has got a number of passes. So he spreads the ball around, so you really can't lock in on any one of them. On the other hand, Ashwaubenon will be tested like no other test they've had this year, trying to stop that ground game that Bayport has with 3 prolific backs, led by Ingold at quarterback, Biebel at the tailback, and Mr. Cuff at fullback.
We thought maybe coming in weather would be a factor. As of right now, yes, it's breezy, but the precipitation has stayed away. Yeah,
I think we're going to miss it. I hope we're going to miss it. One of our crack meteorologists in the truck there to let us know what's going to happen here tonight.
The last year when these two teams hooked up, that from Bayport, it was a 49-20 victory for the Pirates. In fact, that's the last time Ashwaubenon lost in the regular season. They've won 8 consecutive regular season games. As we check out the game conditions, cloudy, 59 degrees with that breeze. Oh, it feels like fall. The wind out of the northeast at 16 miles per hour, and again, a chance for rain, perhaps thunderstorms. Some could be severe before all is said and done, but as of right now, it is, well, as perfect as you're gonna get, even with the breeze being what it is, for this clash atop the FRCC standings.
The wind in this place usually blows kind of diagonally from corner to corner. We got a slight crosswind down here. You can see it on the flags on the pipes. May affect field goals and perhaps punting into it.
There's Mark Jonas, the 5th-year head coach for Ashwaubenon. He comes in with 31 victories and 15 defeats. The Ripon native coming to Ashwaubenon by way of Kokana. This team will have the football first for Bayport. Getting ready to kick it away is Josh Jennerjohn. Special teams have been a plus for Ashwaubenon throughout the course of this season, particularly Emmett Carpenter, who's one of the two backs to receive. Had a 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown in the fourth quarter last week's 41-point victory against Pulaski.
The other companion back there is Jake Monroe, a wide receiver.
Carpenter will see this one bounce out of bounds. The flag will fly in for the illegal procedure with the kickoff flying out. And now the Ashwaubenon offense, they come in averaging roughly 37 points a game. And again, at quarterback, back for his second full year at the varsity rank, James Morgan.
35. Illegal kick. Out of bounds kicking team. Receiving team's gonna take it at the 35-yard line, first down.
James Morgan, good size, 6'4", 200 pounds. He's in his junior campaign. He has completed nearly 61% of his passes.
He's got all-conference wide receiver Jake Immig. He's got Jake Monroe on the other side, and Sammy Wisniewski's a third wide receiver. And then young Mr. Immig, Zach Immig, is his tight end. Well, those are his targets. They've got a 3-by-1 on top.
With Jake Zills, slot left. Man in motion is Jackson Messenger. They dump it off to Jake Zills, his specialty, and Jake Zills across midfield, 45-40, 35-30 before being pushed out of bounds.
They put a man in motion away from him and then slipped him out on a screen pass back to the boundary side. On a well-developed play, and they executed it well. Here it is again. You see Monroe come across. Morgan does a nice job of not tipping off where he's going with the football, and then it's Mr. Zills. Yards after the catch.
He was pushed out of bounds by Brennan Warner after a 32-yard pickup. Here, Jake Zills, top rusher a year ago, but again, he is known for draws and screens. Incomplete down the field was Jake Immig.
We had a mix-up there. He looking for a post route. Immig ran a corner. They had an empty formation there, 2-by-3. You'll see it again if we get a replay here. He lofted a nice one right down the pipes, but they miscued with the assignment.
Not wasting any time here on 2nd down and 10 from the Bayport 33. Zills in motion. Morgan gets hit as he throws. On the slide, it was Jake Immig, able to haul it in near the 29 for a gain of close to 4.
Immig's got 22 catches on 248 yards this year, averaging about 11 yards a catch. Here we go. Little slant route. They crossed a receiver with him. He came in and slid. Ball a little underthrown, but he made a nice catch.
And for Jake, coming off his best performance of the year last week, came through with 7 catches, 89 yards, and a couple of touchdowns.
Little inside zone play to Zills, off the read by Morgan. And it appears Mr. Carpenter's going to attempt the field goal here.
See the coaching staff, and now walking across the screen, Gary Westerman, the second-year head coach of the Bayport Pirates, talking to him on the field prior to the game. And, you know, yeah, he's worried about the receiving core, but he was talking more about Zills and trying to stop the pesky running back.
Big plays. We saw him against Preble first game of the year when he had a number of big runs and a screen pass like he executed tonight.
Here's a 46-yard try for Carpenter. A flag will fly in. Carpenter drills it. Good practice for Carpenter, who's got one heck of a leg. We talked about that the last time we saw Ashwaubenon. Hit a 61-yard field goal in practice before the season began. That was off the turf, not on a tee.
Very strong leg. Also returns kicks and punts. And he also punts.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense, 5 yards. Still 4th down.
Apparently the kick was short, huh?
Well, now with that penalty, as opposed to attempted a field goal, it appears that Coach Jonas is going to take a gamble. He has James Morgan back onto the field facing 4th down, about a yard to go.
Well, you got 3 options: a quick pass, play action, or Zills.
Bayport, they've been penalized twice already, coming off a performance last week, which they were penalized 7 times for 55 yards.
Inverted veer formation here.
Zills gonna dive, but gonna be stuffed.
Stuffed on the edge. Somebody really played it stout there. Got in low, put their foot in the ground and held the edge. No place to go.
Watch the senior linebacker, Jordan Stelzer.
It was Stelzer. Great play by Stelzer.
Last year, a second-team all-conference performer, led the team with 115 tackles. Tops of the team in tackles yet again this season, but none bigger perhaps than that one, at least in the current moment.
He also has 2 fumbles caused, 2 fumbles recovered, and 2 interceptions. He's having quite a year on defense.
So Alec Ingold out there at quarterback and hands it off with Max Biebel. He's the top rusher. Ingold number 2, not far behind. But you have Max Biebel, 6 foot, 195 pounds in his senior campaign in that backfield.
Nice team defense by the Jaguars. Stuffed it, 4 or 5 hats on the football. Inside linebacker, Kyle Rosinski, number 7. Very active, very stout.
Only about a 1-yard pickup. Biebel able to turn the corner. And Biebel able to work his way up near the 32-yard line. Max Biebel. Last year, 51 carries, 310 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. And so far this season, he has carried the ball 73 times for 530 yards. Already 8 touchdowns, 3 of which came against Green Bay East.
Got ourselves a pro eye here. That's a little foreign to Bayport. Out route, the ball's right on target.
Joey Meyer on the reception. First down, gain up to the 42.
Meyer's been good for 14 catches this year, 134 yards, 9.6 yards per catch. Has not scored a touchdown yet. Ran about a 5-yard out, and the ball was right on the money.
I mentioned the dual threat ability of Alec Ingold. He can run, he can throw, seeing his throwing ability right there, connecting beautifully with Joey Meyer. From the 42, back to Biebel, straight up the gut. He's just shy of midfield. The referee takes quite a shot. One of the officials taking quite the shot after he was trying to spot that football. Everybody okay as the ball placed at the 49 for a gain of 7.
Mixing it up here a little bit, running outside, running inside, throwing the ball. Here we go again.
Right up the middle for Max Biebel.
Just a little ISO play, followed the fullback up through the hole.
Had a touchdown last week from 15 yards out. And now a first down pickup. As this time it's Alec Ingold for the first time on the carry, the keeper.
Faked the handoff on a jet sweep and just took it inside.
As mentioned during the open, Ingold was a running back, switched to quarterback here this season, although he had been a quarterback prior to his time at the varsity level.
Little inside wrap play, they pulled the backside guard, he let him right up through the middle.
Ingold, a quarterback back that has scored at least 1 touchdown in all but 8 games so far this season. He'll keep it here and work his way up near the 40.
I tell you what, he's made a nice transition from a tailback or running back to a quarterback, handling the ball on every snap. We'll have to take our hats off to Greg Robis, the offensive coordinator at Bayport, who's converted him to the quarterback position. Outstanding athlete.
And not an easy task this season either for Ingold, in the sense that you have a brand new receiving core. Everybody else lost to graduation, and from an offensive line standpoint, you bring back 1 starter.
There's that out route again. He's open. He just didn't hook up on it that time.
Trying to find Meyer once again. Joey Meyer at 6 foot, 180 pounds in his senior season, coming in with 14 catches for 134 yards.
3-step drop, just a little outside.
Even though we talk about Bayport's ability to pound, this is still an offense that about a third of the time will throw, and Ingold so far in the season completing about 66% of his passes.
Yeah, he's 7 touchdowns, 1 pick.
3rd down and 7. Incomplete, trying to find Max Caesar.
I tell you what, Benny Wires made a great play, breaking the plane of the ball there, disrupting the timing a little bit. Here's the play again. You see him coming in the outside. He had a beat on him.
So Coach Westerman's team about to get the football right back. And for the Pirates, getting ready to punt it away is Joe Byer. Carpenter, the lone Jaguar, back to receive. Angling away from Carpenter and out of the end zone. Not allowing Carpenter a chance. And so our second time through seeing Ashwaubenon's offense that, as mentioned, comes in averaging about 37 points a game. They have scored at least 20 points in every game, and over the last 3, they have dominated the opponents to the tune of 135-15 combined. So as we battle on here in this Week 7 matchup, our game broadcast tonight brought to you by Subway. Now lunchtime is anytime with the Subway $4 lunch. Choose from a variety of 6-inch subs and a 21-ounce drink only at Subway.
There's the empty nest again. Morgan back to pass. Woof. Overshot his tight end. Emick coming across the middle on a dig route. A little too high, a little too strong. But there's a good example of the gun on this young man.
How about the zip? Holy smokes, and we knew that coming into the season. The talk with James Morgan was about his size, but that arm strength.
He has a very quick delivery too, so he can get rid of it before you disrupt his throwing lanes.
Brings up 2nd down and 10. See Morgan to his left again. Jake Zills.
We have a little bunch over here to our right. Triple. There's Monroe in motion.
Jake Monroe to the bottom of your screen. Floated in there, caught up near the 40, brought in by Emick. Jake Emick across midfield, 45-40, gets a couple of lead blocks, and there he goes. He's gonna take it to the end zone for an Ashwaubenon touchdown.
Great move by Emick. He pulled up and juked a couple guys and then turned on the afterburners. Had some nice lead blockers in front of him.
An 80-yard touchdown reception.
He ran a deep out. He eludes one man. You see the guys hustling downfield. Monroe, Emick, his younger brother, and then it's a foot race to the end zone.
Looked like they're in trying to cover Emick. Logan Peterson slipped. Then again, a couple of lead blockers. 80 yards later, 6 points for Ashwaubenon.
Monroe went in motion, came across, and then curled back inside. I think the corner jumped him, and he ran a deep route over the top of him, and that's how he got free. The safety never got over to pick him up.
And Carpenter knocks in the extra point. Jake Emick, his 6th touchdown of the year. All 5 have come over the last 3+ games, including the 2-touchdown performance a week ago.
Here's the play again. There you see Monroe curling in, a corner jumps him, and there goes Emick over the top. Safety could not get over there. And now it's just up to Emick to get that ball and bring it home. See a last-minute dive here on the pylon, and that's what gets the 6.
Again, the big question mark, the challenge for Bayport coming in, trying to stop the passing game of Ashwaubenon. And from a secondary standpoint, only one returner to that defensive backfield being Cade Ortner. He was 4th on the team last year in tackles. Otherwise, a team that, at least coming in relatively young in the secondary. They graduated defensive back of the year, Logan Hoffman. Had a couple fill some spots, and then one of those being Logan Peterson.
And we should mention he had a lot of time to throw. In fact, all the times he's thrown today is only one time where there was somebody in his face. He doesn't seem to be too bothered by that. So the line of Hunter Paul and Joshua Marquis and Chris Waring, Cameron Kelly, and Andrew Lupke doing a nice job of keeping him clean and safe.
Emmett Carpenter about to kick it off. Back deep to receive for Bayport is Blair Van Ness, the junior wide receiver. Already a number of touchbacks recorded by Carpenter, showing off that leg strength, but in this one, and in this case, a bouncer left it short, and for Bayport a return up near the 28.
I think that was Nathan Wheeler that rocked him.
And following the return by punter / linebacker Joe Byer.
Well, looking at the game in the beginning, I thought maybe a big play capability for Ashwaubenon might be able to swing momentum. It's a little early yet, but I think that's what they're going to have to rely on. They've got some athletes who want to get them out in space and get them the ball.
No question, Ashwaubenon throughout the course of this season, again, big play capability, coming in with those 4 receivers with 210+ yards apiece. And sure enough, an 80-yard touchdown strike to Jake Emick. Biebel, he was met by a number of Jaguars, including, let's see, Jarvis over there for Ashwaubenon coming through among the three. Nathan Jarvis, a senior defensive end. As Biebel takes this play off, Alec Ingold, in last week's game, 3 for 5 passing, otherwise, again, for the most part, pound. They attempted 45 rushing attempts, but they've gone to the air a few more times here in this opening quarter, as Ingold able to complete to Van Ness.
Blair Van Ness, he's our #1 target. 18 catches, 319 yards, 18 yards a catch, and 5 touchdowns. So he's the guy that makes the yardage after the catch. Very fast track guy. He can motor. Here's the out route again. And then he makes some moves.
We mentioned the receiving core, again, able to replace a trio of tall, productive receivers. He's coming in and put together some ridiculous numbers that a year ago, and Blair Van Ness is one of those that's trying to help fill that void. Ingold throws on the slip, incomplete.
Had him open right down the pipes, caught between the corner and the safety. Neither one converged. He gets the ball up a little bit there. They got a big gain.
They're looking for the tight end, Connor Destash.
Here he is, 6'4", 210, nice target. Dropped it right in there.
Those receivers, those trios that were lost to graduation, accounted for 85 catches, totaling 1,490 yards and 16 touchdowns. And according to Coach Westerman, he coming into this season, he said you can never replace a group like that, but that was a pretty special group. But you try to find kids who have different strengths that ultimately you can kind of dig and piece those kids in. Well, the defense coming through and stopping Biebel.
They blitz the middle linebacker, Kyle Rosinski, #7, inside backer, 5'9", 200 pounds. Here he comes.
He moved from outside to inside linebacker. They call him the quarterback of the defense, a one-time quarterback. Lost the starting job in the battle against James Morgan, and willing to move over to the defensive side, and he's been the quarterback, if you will, the defensive end, and calling out those defensive plays. And again, making that move to inside linebacker here this season. Ingold gonna take off.
This is where he's dangerous.
Able to elude a couple before being slammed out of bounds by Jackson Messenger, the senior defensive back. Alec Ingold, we mentioned, #2 rusher on this team.
Pretty good coverage by Ashwaubenon there, and he didn't have any place to go, so he just tucked it and run, and that's when he's especially dangerous.
And last year, he rushed for 1,034 yards on 169 attempts. That over the course of 10 games was second FRCC play with 19 touchdowns. He had 22 overall. A return possibility from the 5 for Carpenter. Face mask. That may be one of 2 penalties upcoming. Flags coming from multiple directions.
Like
Jordan Stelzer downfield on the tackle.
Looks like Stelzer got him up around the head area there. We'll see if it was a horse collar tackle or a face mask.
Might have had a block in the back too before the face mask came coming in.
Okay, we got a block in the back by Ashwaubenon.
Block in the back.
That was it.
Receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So early on, all 3 penalties of the game have been against Bayport. Early on for the Pirates, even though they've had some convincing wins, even in that season opening win against De Pere 40-0, when it seemed like everything went the Pirates' route. One area that Coach Westerman was a little concerned about following that game was the number of penalties against his team.
You always want to clean up the things you can be responsible for. Those are mistakes and penalties. We got to empty with some motion now in Zills.
Drive beginning from the 6. Morgan will throw it deep.
He's got him.
Hauled in across the 40. The ground causing the ball to come free, but a catch for Sam Wisniewski, the junior wide receiver.
This is how they utilize him. He'll be the #1 receiver near the sidelines and run just a go route, and it bombs away from Morgan. Nice soft pass. Wisniewski, good speed, runs under it. And they've got some pretty good field position on one play.
Off a 37-yard gain. First down and 10 from the 43.
Here's a trip bunch to the right, little toss to Zels.
Zills gets a block, finds a hole, gets across midfield inside Bayport territory, able to hang on to the football. Stelzer among the pair there for the Pirates on the tackle.
We've got a hold here. Right on the edge where he made the turn.
Right now confirming with Troy Albrecht, the junior linebacker for Bayport.
Holding. Offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
It's a nice array on this offensive attack for Ashwaubenon, certainly going to the air, but also getting Zills very much involved.
I think you got to mix it up a little. You don't want to give them any keys. You don't want to give them any kind of timing or rhythm that they can pick up on.
Zills trying to bounce back last week. The first week did not record at least one rushing touchdown. Ended up carrying the ball 12 times for 66 yards. One of his best performances, though, came back in week 1 in a game we saw right here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel against Preble. Well, Zills able to work his way back up near the 45 is where it appears they will mark him out.
That was the same screen pass that they opened up the first drive with, except they ran it to the right.
Setting up a second down and 8. That season opening game, though, for Zills. Had a 100-plus yard rushing performance as lone so far this season, off 14 carries.
You see they rolled to his left and then flipped it back to the right. Backdoor screen to the boundary side.
And so far this season, he has had no less than 10 carries per game. Morgan trying to haul it in with Zills, who then takes a hit. Cade Ortner on the coverage. Again, the veteran in the secondary for Bayport, back for his senior season.
That time, defensive coordinator Al Schleich dialed up a linebacker blitz, and you saw Mr. Stelzer coming in hard. Right in the face of Morgan. Just caused the ball to be a little high. Almost a one-handed catch by Zills.
Bayport defense, 4 starters back. Typically a 3-4 scheme. Facing the spread offense of Ashwaubenon. On 3rd down and 8. Morgan gets rid of it. Looking downfield for Jake Monroe. He was triple covered.
He threw it in the crowd that time, but it looked like he might be able to drop it in between the 3. And Bayport's defense holds.
Inside of 4 minutes left here in this opening quarter. Homecoming week at Ashwaubenon High School. As Bayport anticipating a punt. Typically it's been Carpenter used as the punter, but Kyle Mrozinski is back to punt it away. A line drive kick that will bounce and stay in. That's a nice home turf bounce.
That was a rugby kick. He did that his sophomore year for them. You take the ball and take about 3 steps in one direction or the other and then just let her go. And he got a very advantageous roll here.
It's been some home cooking too for Ashwaubenon. They're perfect 4-0 here at Gels Field so far. This is their final home game of the regular season. Played well here at home last year as well by losing just once, going 3-1. That lone loss last year at home came against Green Bay Southwest, the team that the Jaguars were able to beat this year in week number 3 after being down 17-7.5 and 17-14 entering the 3rd. For a game-winning touchdown was scored with 2:24 left. One of a couple of game-winning drives in the 4th produced so far this season by Morgan. And we'll see what Ingold has in response. His team down 7, defense able to come through with a big stop. And this drive will begin from the 17. For the Pirates, wins against De Pere, Green Bay East, Pulaski, Notre Dame, Manitowoc, Lincoln, and last week's 36-point win against Green Bay West. In goal on the keeper. Gonna be dragged down. Look like Ben Wires, the junior linebacker, not allowing in goal to make that turn.
They blitz Rosinski again. He was picked up by Bush for Bayport. Stopped that and they bounced the ball outside for just a 1-yard gain.
This is a Pirates offense, much like the defense. Only 4 starters back, and again, only 1 back on that offensive line. That was a question mark coming in. You had Jake Bush back, and they say he can play all 5 positions. Has a maximum squat of a whopping 600 pounds. Good size, 6'2", 259 senior campaign. Part of that offensive line is a flag will fly in. Instead of that, inexperience on that line, at least coming in now, obviously seasoned through 6 weeks of play.
Timeout.
Timeout Bayport. They saw something they did not like. They had a receiver uncovered here until the last second when Ashwaubenon picked up on him, but Coach Roberts didn't like what he saw. Now he's out there talking to the boys.
So apparently a flag was thrown but picked up and the timeout granted. As we check out what took place last week in the Fox River Classic Conference, the game of the night, Green Bay Southwest and Notre Dame, won by the Trojans on a Hail Mary.
Right at the end, looked like the old Doug Flutie play. Guy ran down the sideline, come through the back door, and just waited for the ball right in his lap.
That keeping Southwest in contention. They're tied for third with Preble. Preble coming off a convincing 57-29 win against Sheboygan North. Outside of Ashwaubenon, Sheboygan North really the only other team in the FRCC that, for the most part, is a pass-oriented offense.
Yeah, their quarterback throws the heck out of the ball. In fact, I think he leads the league in passing. He also leads it with quite a few interceptions. So that's how they make their living, throwing the football, and I guess you live and die by that.
And if you're Bayport, you will get used to the pass because guess what? Next week at Sheboygan North. So here's test number 1, trying to stop the pass, but here on offense, off the flip that goes to Van Ness. He was the man in motion. Gonna fight for every last yard possible.
Ashwaubenon doing a nice job of getting a lot of people at the perimeter and making him turn back into the pursuit.
Rosinski again on the stop. He's an active start to this first quarter.
Set the edge good, and the rest of the cavalry came in.
Again, third down facing Bayport, 6 yards to go. Coming out with a 5-receiver set shotgun for Ingold. Fake handoff, dumped off. Caesar spun around. Nathan Wheeler on the tackle. Up near that 24-25 yard line, but still a good 3 yards shy of the first down stick.
They had a nice little crossing route there, but Wheeler sniffed it out, got in line, took a shot at him, grabbed the golden ring, knocked him down.
Had the opening 2 cutting across. After the attention when Peebles were out, he was the man in motion. Able to get the punt away, does Byer. And it's gonna stop at the 34 where it's down. Carpenter second guess and made probably the smart move.
Discretion, better part of valor. I think he was going to take it on a hop and then it hit, and then he had second thoughts, and I said, I better get away here. Bad things happen.
And Stelzer able to down it for Bayport. Well, checking out what's taking place besides this one in week 7 here in the FRCC. Yeah, Green Bay West and Green Bay Southwest. The pier is at Green Bay Preble. Certainly, again, Preble and Southwest watching this game closely because, again, it will open up the door perhaps for one of these teams to sneak in. And if it just so happens to be Ashwaubenon who prevails, well, all of a sudden, guess what? You start looking at the schedule. Bayport, Southwest still have to play each other. Ashwaubenon still with Notre Dame on the docket. So even with the victory of this game being in sole possession of first in the FRCC, there's still a couple of weeks to go, and there's a couple of intriguing matchups still to follow as the pass goes incomplete to Sam Wisniewski.
Yep. Yeah, they've got some breathing room yet if, like you said, if Ashwaubenon comes out on top here. Wisniewski right down the sideline, he just could not hold on to the ball, had himself first down there.
And if Bayport comes out on top again, if Southwest can prevail in a couple of weeks, perhaps you're looking at a 4-way tie for first. Second down and 10. Zills. Down he goes. He was tripped up, trying to maintain his balance, but he was tripped up on the play with Matt Calowerts, the junior linebacker.
Nice job of a force. He penetrated, kept his outside arm and shoulder free, squeezed him back in, made the tackle. Textbook play.
No gain, bringing up third down and 10 quickly. Down to a minute left here in the opening quarter. A 7-0 lead for Ashwaubenon thanks to an 80-yard touchdown reception by Jake Emick. Incomplete, looking for Jake
we're going to get an interference call.
Flag coming down after the battle against Cade Ortner. And Ortner on the coverage downfield, battling against Monroe to come back after the football. But pass interference coming up here against the Pirates, and they have been hampered by penalties here in this opening quarter.
I don't know if he just threw it up and hoped Jake would get it, or there was a back shoulder throw a little short.
Pass interference. Defense 15 yards. It's going to be a first down.
That by far the biggest penalty, though, against the Pirates in this first.
Well, it keeps the drive alive.
Football spotted at the 49. You be the judge as Morgan threw it up. Ortner.
I think he bumped it there with his hip, just as both were going down.
After Monroe stopped, turned around, trying to haul it in. So a fresh set of down for the Jaguars here again from their own 49.
Well, they're going to double Imig out here. There's that screen again.
Catch made by Monroe across midfield. Gets a block, tripped up across the 45.
This time they hit the slot man with the screen coming across. They got the coverage they wanted on Imig, which cleared it, and you see Monroe crossing underneath, eluding one man and then getting some yaks.
Boy, they've gotten some great lead blocks, but Ashwaubenon also doing a great job making the Pirates miss on a number of tackles.
They're very quick and very athletic, these wide receivers. Real good feet.
Second down, a couple of yards to go. And it appears that Morgan will allow the first quarter clock to run down. So week 7 off and running in this battle for first in the FRCC. Ashwaubenon with a 7-0 lead after 1 on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Tonight's Week 7 high school football game of the week is brought to you in part by Fleet Farm. Mills Fleet Farm, serving America's heartland since 1955. 7-0 in this battle for first atop the Fox River Classic Conference. Ashwaubenon leads beyond an 80-yard touchdown reception by Jake Emick, his 6th touchdown of the season.
It's a nice play by Emick, eluding a couple guys and just racing into the end zone.
As play resumes, it's homecoming Friday at Ashwaubenon here from Gels Field. The Jaguars facing second down. Zills, he stopped. Troy Albrecht, the linebacker, on the tackle.
6'1", 215-pound junior, third leading tackler on the club. Very good inside linebacker. A good compliment to Stelzer. They got 2 horses in the middle there.
Did a great job, too, of making sure that Zills did not slip by.
They pulled 2 guys in that area. It was almost like a student body right, but Albrecht had something to say about it. Squirted through a window and made the play behind the line of scrimmage.
Third down with 3 receivers. Zills now slot left. Coming across the screen is Jake Emick. Morgan looks down the middle of the field. It's bobbled, juggled, and incomplete.
Wisniewski never quite got a handle on the ball. He was turning his upper body a little bit when he made first contact with the football. Here we see it again. They're bringing Emick across to give him 3 to one side. And there's Wiz.
And there's Chad Osmanski, who made sure he didn't make that catch. Osmanski, in his senior season, the defensive back.
That's one of the few times you'll see Wisniewski in the middle of the field. Usually he does most of his damage on the outside, sidelines.
Perhaps another rugby kick here for Mrozinski. Nobody back for Bayport. And they will let this one bounce.
Ooh, it would have been nice to get some coverage down there. Now, let's determine whether Mr. Carpenter is injured or they're just going with this rugby punt tonight. So far, it's been effective.
Well, we've seen Emmett Carpenter out there for at least the extra point.
He's been playing some defense. Maybe they're going to give him a break in the punting game and let Mrozinski do his thing.
Now the Jaguar, that would be the outfit they have on a night like this.
That's Joey Jaguar. When I was here, it used to be Jimmy Jaguar. This guy looks a little more ferocious than the guy I had.
What happened?
I don't know. He got old, like all of us do.
So that's Joey.
This is Joey.
Jimmy.
The old guy was Jimmy. Yeah. Jimmy never worked out. He was kind of a...
That'll do it.
Yeah. You lose it after a while.
Max Beeble on the Bayport run. He's just shy of the 25. We've seen, again, Bayport try to pound with Beeble, but they've done a nice job mixing with Beeble, but then going to the air a few times. Trying to find Joey Meyer. Ingle on the keeper. Again, fights his way up the middle. He was trying to just maintain balance. Has enough for the Pirates' first down.
That's kind of a reverse zone read. He actually turns out to be the guy in the middle, and the guy crossing him ordinarily would be the read guy, but here he comes right up the gut. And Mrozinski almost had him in the backfield with an ankle tackle, but he's a big horse, Ingle. 6'1", 205, great balance, good strength. Not going to get him down with a hand tackle.
Last year, 17 carries, 142 yards, 3 touchdowns against Ashwaubenon in the victory for the Pirates. How about that tip ball that was hauled in nonetheless for Bayport?
One of the Ashwaubenon defenders tipped it, and
Van Ness on the
rang.
catch.
Yeah, nice athletic play to retrieve it, the old tip drill. I don't know if they do it on offense, but it worked here for him.
We'll see it one more time as the measurement about to take place on the field. Yeah, that was tipped by Wires.
Yeah, Wires on a tip, and Van Ness, good presence of mind, hauled it in.
Turned around and is awfully close to the first down stick.
Dr. Guess, what do you got here? First down?
No. That's my gut. And I would be wrong.
Nose of the ball again? There it is.
Can't get much closer than that, huh? That's the last time he put me on the spot, too, Coach. He's not going to answer next time.
We had a nose of the ball last week, too, I think, Cole.
I think I got that one wrong, too. So just by the nose, a 10-yard gain off the tip for Blair Van Ness. Solid off season. They said it was solid. He competed in a weekly 7-on-7 league this past spring at the House of Speed. Flip back in gold.
No one to throw to. And I think he's going to throw it away. Good coverage by the Jaguar secondary.
Trying to find Van Ness downfield. He was being double covered.
Jackson Messenger and Mason Ross would not have anything to do with it.
Saw a lot from Mason Ross in that season opener against Preble.
Very good defensive back. They were on top of it, smart, playing deep, stayed over the top, picked up the receiver bleeding off the line. He was really the only option for Ingold. So we get a little trickaroo here.